Okay, we're back. I grabbed my ferric chloride and just about done hand sanding this knife, and we can start etching it, start sanding on the next one. Okay, so we're back. We got somebody on here now. One person. Just about done hand sanding this, and we'll be able to start etching it. Chevy guy, appreciate it. Frank, welcome back. Hello, Poland. So you. Oh, okay, sorry about that. My family just got home and was telling me about a really bad car wreck they drove past right after it happened on the way. And so we got to talk more about that a little bit later, because that was kind of a traumatic thing to see. Working hand, how's it going? Overlander, right now, I'm back. Working on a Damascus Santoku. Hey, Logan. Hi, Sylvia. Hey, Randy, how's it going? It's Swiss. Forge is going good. I'm not forging right now, I'm hand sanding, but same difference. So we're about done hand sanding this Santoku, and we'll get it in some ferric chloride and show you all what it looks like. Pattern welded Damascus. It's one of my canister Damascus projects on the channel here from a year or two ago. I don't know, but I had some of the billet left over, and I wanted to make some knives for some Damascus blades for the blade show to take, and this is one of them. So clean up this side just a touch here. Okay. So I'm gonna get a clean rag and some acetone. We're gonna degrease this and then put it in the ferric chloride. Yeah, knife making takes a lot of practice. Frank said, I did crash rescue military 8 years. Yeah, I was in law enforcement for 7 years, so dealt with some of that. But I don't know. You try to teach your kids, like, hey, we're driving in the car, don't, stop arguing, don't distract the driver, this kind of stuff, and they don't get it, right? They're kids. But when you drive by a wreck with people ejected from the vehicle and stuff, they're still kids and they still don't get it. But they like, hey, I get it, a little bit better maybe. So the older ones, I guess. Don't put your feet on the dash. Yeah, I know, right? Fold you up like a pretzel. All right, that's looking pretty good. Let me get some acetone here for degreasing it. Technically, it shouldn't have any grease on it because we're sanding it with clean sandpaper and ammonia, but it doesn't hurt to just make sure it's clean before we stick it in the etch. I got a clean rag here. Randy, how How many hours in the Damascus knife? That's a good question. I have. I would say with Damascus, probably 10 hours is a good estimate on a knife. But that doesn't include like time in the heat treat, tempering, whatever, but actual time working on the actual knife, I guess like 10 hours. I don't really know though, to be honest. The only knife that I really sat down and kept track of the time was a fancy ball bearing Damascus fighter, and I put like 53 hours into that particular knife, but it was more complicated. It was a pretty extensive build. So to be honest, I don't really know, but I would guess something like this, 10 to 15 hours of actual time on the material, not counting time in the kiln and that kind of thing, but I'm not really sure. Sorry, that probably wasn't very helpful. So, unfortunately. All right, so here's our ferric chloride. And I need to get something to hang it with here, but I don't have another hand. But you can see the pattern already. There it is. So the darker color is 5200 steel. And then there's ball bearings with nickel content 1080. And that's the pattern. So let me, oh, hold on. I can't really see, sorry guys, I can't see everybody's stupid technology. I didn't realize that I need a moderator. I didn't realize that Sylvia was a smut profile. So sorry. I can't really see everybody's avatar. It's so tiny on the phone here. I'm trying to work, not moderate. Anyway. Yeah, so that's what the pattern looks like. Yeah, pretty cool. It's I don't know, you do these different pattern projects. Like I said, this was on the channel, this particular canister Damascus. And you never know quite what they're going to turn out like. So, you just kind of have to go for it sometimes and see what happens. But this one turned out pretty cool. And anyway, it'll make a good knife. So, yeah, Randy, that particular one, I could build another canister just like that, and I think that particular one would be fairly simple to repeat. But yeah, in general, you're never going to get it exactly the same, obviously. But similar, I guess. All right, well, what to hand sand next? I've got this little fighter style. I should probably start on this next, I guess. Well, who's glad it's Friday? I've been working 6 days a week, but I think I might take tomorrow off, kind of not off, but like do some projects that need done around the house and take a break from bladesmithing. But we've been doing a local farmers market, so that's been working 6 days a week pretty much for the last several months. And I still have a fair amount of work to do before Blade Show, but I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm like, maybe we can work on the chicken house tomorrow instead of going and trying to sell knives just for one day or whatever, you know. So, thanks, Frank. All right. So this knife is going to be in and out of the etch several times. We're going to let it sit in there for about 20 minutes and pull it out, clean it off with the 800 grit paper, and put it back in. Dripping ferric chloride everywhere. Yeah, Randy, 12-hour drive, a little ways. But yeah, I'll be there, so it'd be great if you can make it. Be at table 10D, 10 Bravo. Frank, thanks for your service as well. The Blade Show is in Salt Lake City. Hi, Williams Tribe. I appreciate you too. Salt Lake City, Utah. October 4th and 5th. Salt Palace Convention Center. So Damascus knives, whenever I make them, they typically sell pretty fast. And so I typically don't have a lot of Damascus knives available. The Swiss, yeah. sorry to hear that you're hurting. I'm, you know, it's easy to take for granted when you're able to work. I take it for granted sometimes, but when I remember, I thank the Lord for just being able to work, you know. But I will say that something that's helped me is because I do feel it in my I have had back problems for a long time, and you know, doing what I do, you can definitely feel it in your joints and your you know, just your frame. But something that's really helped me is not eating wheat. Just staying off of wheat for the most part, almost completely. And that has drastically reduced the inflammation that I experience. And it's been really helpful. There's a lot of things you can do, but just that one simple thing honestly drastically changes your diet. Especially if you're in America and you're on the American diet, just not eating wheat drastically changes it, because you think about all the things that eliminates and all the other things that it consequentially eliminates that are so bad for you. Wheat and sugar, yes. I stop eating wheat. That eliminates a lot of the sugar too. The sugar's, oh, it's an addictive chemical. Lucky decal. I have not set up the induction forge yet, and I probably won't before the end of the year, but I need to do that. Yeah. Frank, have I come across bars of Babbitt nickel? I have, and I can't remember where. Of course, as I'm sure you're aware, Babbitt's a combination of like a few different alloys, low temperature melting alloys like tin, I want to say antimony, and back in the day it was lead. I don't know if they still make it with that, probably. So several different things like that, and I can't remember where I saw it, so I'm sorry. But they do make it still, as far as I know. Yeah, the Swiss. I'm just going to call you the Swiss because that's shorter than saying the whole name, Swiss Vapors. Yeah, no. The mind. I was just thinking about this today. Work is, people call it a 4-letter word, blah blah. It's not a 4-letter word. If you do something you can't stand, do the best you can to change that, even if it takes a couple years or 5 years to get to where you can do something that you find fulfilling. But work, there's so many different directions I go with a discussion like this, but work isn't supposed to be a 4-letter word. It's supposed to be how we engage with the world and with other people. Right? It's supposed to be fulfilling. It's still work. It's like what I do. I really appreciate that I get to do this for work, but it's hard. It's not easy. There's nothing easy about trying to run your own business, start with, and then this particular profession isn't easy either, but there's nothing else I'd rather be doing, and I have thought about it quite a bit, off and on over the years. And so I think when you stick with a particular field or profession and you get better and better at it, I think you're able to refine how you approach work. But what I was going to say is work is therapeutic. Yeah, we're supposed to work. We're supposed to do stuff to make the world a better place, to make other people's lives a better experience. I mean, yeah. If you talk to me about stuff, you're gonna get a some level of a biblical perspective, because I mentioned my other channel that I have just under my name. It's on the featured channels on my page here. And the reason I have that other channel is because I'll tell you exactly why. Because I am very passionate about bladesmithing, and I think a lot about it. But the thing that I think about more than bladesmithing is like fundamental purpose and the things behind why things are the way they are. Like, what is the ultimate answers to everything that we experience, everything about life. And the only thing that makes sense to me is a creator who made this infinitely complex universe and sent his son to die and resurrect as a restoration for all of mankind from the sin, the pain, the death that we all experience. And so, all that to say, I think more about all of that kind of stuff than I do even bladesmithing. And that's why I have another channel, because when I have something to talk about, or when I think of something, or when I have time, I'll put up a video talking about something to do with that, with scripture, with fundamental meaning. And all that to say, our Creator is a productive being, right? He created this world. He worked. He still works. He still is at work. And so, if we're made in the image of God, now you're going to start me off to preaching here. Not trying to, but can't help it. If we're made in the image of God, it only follows that we find fulfillment in emulating the characteristics of our Creator, and one of those being work. And so that's one thing in life that brings us fulfillment and a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment, and it should, right? And whatever it is we're doing has, a benefit to other people. Thanks, Swiss. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's a lot to learn. yeah, there's two kinds of people in the world, right? There's people that are making the world better, and there's people that are making it worse. And we've all been one of or both of those at different times, right? Because we're human. But if we're putting our energy towards making it better as much as we can, that's where you find the fulfillment in your work, I think. Doesn't make it easy all the time. See you later, Swiss. Yep, you bet. Man, people are rocking and rolling with the hair jokes today. Hey. I already told y'all in the last live stream just a little bit ago, I can't wear my wig right now. It's too hot. I mean, come on, my chin is sweating right now, okay? Eric, are you saying you're follically challenged as well? I'm not, I mean, yeah, you can see where that's all headed, where that's going, right? I just shave it off because you can't do anything with it now. It's too far gone. There's no point. All right, so we're down to 220 grit on this little feller. But you know what? I'm going to show you guys what the pattern looks like here. It'll show up. It's not going to look real great with the 220 grit scratches, but let's just look at it real quick. Alex, you said that last time. Come up with something new, my friend. And welcome back, I guess. If you're not a bot, like who knows? Who even knows anymore? I mean, I think if you can carry on a normal conversation, it's easy to tell if you're not a bot. But starting with that's probably not a great start. So you can kind of see it's a nice twist pattern. It's pretty crisp. You can't really see all the fine layers though, right here. I don't think you can. Maybe you can. But anyway, that's what that's going to look like. Pretty sweet. All right. Just a whale guy. Did you guys know the blue whale is called? No, I did not know that. Randy, I don't know. I think it's about 200, actually. I shouldn't say I don't know. I'm not sure. I believe it's about 200. And frankly, that seems to be kind of my standard go-to layer count, because much above that, it gets so fine you really can't see much. And below that, well, below that's all right too. You know, down to about 100. 100 is usually a nice bold pattern. And I will say this. I watched a different video recently that I'm reminded of this layer density. Well, it was Will Stelter. He's making Damascus in his shop now, I guess. But layer density is just as important or more important than layer count, because you can have a 100 layer that looks like a 300 layer depending on what you started with thickness-wise and all this kind of stuff. But I start with about 1/8 of an inch thick layers, and this is 200, around 200, I believe. And that's kind of what you get. So that's kind of what that is here. Honey Badger, how long have I been forging? I think I've been well, no, hold on. About 20, well, okay. Forging knives for about 10 years. I started forging before that as a farrier. Started making knives even before that. So, but specifically forging off and on for 20 years, and then the knives for about 10 years. I need to go to 500 grit on this now. So if you have any questions about bladesmithing, knife making, etc., thanks, Eric. Yeah, kind of a Bowie style blade, small Bowie knife style blade. I don't know, kind of cool, I guess. You know, what kind of handle? You know, I don't know yet. It might end up being a, desert ironwood. It's kind of my go-to. It's one of my favorite. I wouldn't mind putting that on here. Alex, what's the largest thing I've ever forged? Weight-wise or just size-wise? I forged a couple swords. One of them was unforged in fire, to answer your second question. Yeah, so the biggest blade I've forged a couple swords. Purple Heart. I do have some Purple Heart. Actually, what would be great on this one would be some Bloodwood. It's kind of like Red Heart, very similar. It's very red. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. We'll see. Honey Badger, this is my full-time job. What's my favorite knife to forge? I don't know. Just whatever I'm feeling at the moment. I get different ideas and I'll just start forging something or have a specific idea in mind. Yeah, I was on season 6, episode 8 on Forged in Fire. So I actually, a video that I have coming up here probably early next week, depending on a couple things, is stabilizing handle material. It's a review on the vacuum pot and pump from Vivor, and been stabilizing some cholla cactus and walnut wood. Oh man. Which judge was I most excited to see? I don't know. They're all cool actually. Wasn't super familiar with any of them really before I went on the show, but they were all cool guys. But I had Doug Markita, Jay Nielsen, and I can't remember what's the other guy's name. The guy with the vest and the mustache. Dave Baker. Yeah, they were all cool guys. It was pretty cool because like they're all just like kind of a bunch of knife nuts hanging out like the rest of us, kind of a deal. So howdy from Australia. Eric, yeah, that's what I'm using is the cactus juice, that resin. And I actually got a couple pieces finished. I just have to, like this is some walnut right here. This is stabilized. It's done. I have to make something with it and test it out, see how it goes. There's some like residual resin that was sitting like this, and it some of it kind of dribbles out, and before it solidifies in the oven, because you have to cook it for 200 degrees. So anyway, so that's what it looks like. It doesn't look much different, honestly. So that's how far I've got. I've got to actually make something out of it now and see how it looks. And then I just did another batch of just walnut wood, bigger chunks and blocks and stuff. And I put a short up on the channel here. It's amazing just how much air is in the wood and how long it takes for it to actually work its way out. All right, so I'm going to pull this knife that we have in the etch. I'm going to pull it out, clean it off, and get it back in. The reason you have to do this, the reason you have to pull your knives out of the etch and clean them is because otherwise the oxide will build up on the steel and it will retard the etching process. And then it'll give you a really crummy etch. Frank, I don't have a planer. I was thinking about that'd be kind of nice to have that for those pieces. And the lighting's the wrong direction here, so sorry about that. But I'm just gonna wash this down with the ammonia water solution that'll neutralize the ferric chloride, and then we can use our 800 grit sandpaper to clean the oxides off, and then proceed with the etch. And you do this multiple times to get some depth to your etching on the steel. But if you don't stop to clean it off, it will start getting real muddy and ill-defined. So you don't want that. So this is looking pretty cool, actually. It looks, I'll show it to you here in a minute as soon as I get it cleaned off. But it kind of looks prehistoric or reptilian to me. It just kind of does to me, but maybe not to you, but that's what it makes me think of. Okay. Or tiger stripes. Yeah, but all right, there it is. Pretty sweet, huh? Pretty cool. So I'm gonna wipe it off again with acetone, get that ammonia solution off of there, put it back in the etch, and I think I'll only take a couple more. This is pretty fresh ferric chloride solution, so I don't think it'll take too many more cycles to get the depth I want on it. Hey Austin, how's it going, man? Yes, this will turn out pretty sweet. I might actually try to use some of that. Well, you know what I should do is I should put a nice dyed stabilized burl scales on this is what I should do. Yeah, that's what I need to do. I was gonna say maybe I should use some of that stabilized walnut that I just stabilized, but I don't feel like that's quite the right what happened to my thing here? Hold on. I don't think a walnut's quite the right handle scale material for this. So I think a nice, I'll think about it. I don't know. So, wipe this off. You can see the more oxide coming off on the rag here. Now, the thing about this with a really coarse pattern like this, okay, so this is something else you got to watch out for. My 52-100 is already trying to speckle up on me. I don't know if you can see that. It's getting those spots. That's from, I believe that's from carbide's etching, and they start pitting. And I don't like that. But that's starting to happen. So I should have pulled it out and cleaned it off sooner than I did. That's how to avoid that. Anyway, we'll put it back in the etch here. Pull it out sooner next time, I guess. Get back to work on this one. The red heart, yeah, it's actually bloodwood specifically. Yeah, it's similar to red heart, but it's pretty dense. It's pretty nice. Those might be interchangeable. I don't know, but this when I purchased it, it was called bloodwood, but that's what it looks like. So. And it finishes out a little bit darker. I actually have one knife up on my website right now with this handle material, this wood. Kind of a frontier style skinner. So I saved all my pattern welded Damascus blades that I wanted to take to blade show till the very end of my till the end. And so in this last week here, I'm working on 6 Damascus knives and then several other forged, mono steel knives. I don't know if that was a good idea or not, but I felt like I needed to try to get some volume and get a bunch of other stuff made that I wanted to get made, and then get these Damascus knives done. So I don't know if that was the right way to do it, but that's what I did. So these are the most time consuming, of course, with the hand sanding and the etching. Hey, BL Designs. Hey, Randy, have a good one. Appreciate it. Thanks, Austin. Appreciate it. Yeah, Frank, if you really want this knife, I'm not gonna sell stuff before the show. Okay, so if you really want this knife, shoot me an email on my website contact form, and yeah, we can do that. I can put that bloodwood on it. And it can be yours. Oh, man. Ugh. I'll turn my fan back on here. It's a little muggy, a little hot. So this knife is also a 52-100 and 15N20 steels. Actually, I wouldn't complain if it really was Thursday, because I have a lot of work to do still before October. So if I got an extra day, actually I'd feel better about that. I wouldn't feel sad about it anyway. Under normal circumstances, I probably would, but all right, it hasn't been very long, but I better grab that the other blade out of the etch. Got to be careful, because once that pitting starts, it can kind of get carried away. So I'm actually going to try to get a little more aggressive on cleaning off the oxides. I don't know if that's really going to change anything, but yeah, you can feel the texture on there. It's etching nicely. And so what you're seeing there, thanks Dean, howdy from the UK. So what you're seeing there, the bright color on the blade, that's a powdered steel with nickel content in it. So the nickel is resisting the ferric chloride and showing up bright. So I might just go one more time into the etch, because it's already, you can already feel pretty good. Pretty good definition on that. But you can see that it's a forged blade, because the pattern distorts. It doesn't just end and then cut out. You can see how it's distorted over because it's forged out of one piece instead of just cut out, you know. Okay, yeah, I'll just do another like probably 10-minute, fairly quick etch here. Thanks, Jeffrey. Appreciate it. Thank you. Other name that I can't really say because I don't know what it says. I've noticed there's been a couple of people from different places in the world concerned with me hurting myself or accidentally cutting myself with one of these knives, and I find that curious. Not that it couldn't happen, just I find that interesting. Because usually that's not a concern. Yeah, the last person that was concerned about that was from either Europe or one of the Slavic countries. I can't remember. I think. Strict 9, how's it going? Yeah, no, I haven't had any Americans concerned for me cutting myself on accident. All right, well, we're about to 500 grit on this guy. And I think I'm gonna wrap up the live stream here. Got you guys got to see what the first knife pattern looks like. That's about done with the etch. And I appreciate y'all hanging out with me, hand sanding blades. And yeah, appreciate it. So Paul, yeah, I hear you. It seems like that's what most live streams are anymore. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate it. So, all right, guys. Well, you guys have a good weekend, and I'm going to keep working on knives here and for a little bit, but I'll catch you on the next one. So have a good one.